Hello, Steve White, Steve R39. Well, another day, another disaster on the Superman marketing campaign. This is some criticism of some of the footage that people have seen and some of the ideas that James Gunn seems to have that he thinks is good. Now, I'm holding up a Henry Cavill Superman. This doesn't mean I'm a Snyder bro. I'm just holding up a different Superman in each video because they've only really been in unboxings and I just want to give them a little bit of attention. But yeah, so apparently another scene has been shown or leaked out. I don't think it's part of a trailer. I was hearing it like they were viewing it as a scene. It's when Superman is battling the kaiju, is what everyone's calling it. I don't know what's actually called. And the action scenes basically in this film are being compared to Looney Tunes videos from Warner Brothers. If you're familiar with the Warner Brothers Looney Tunes videos from back in the day. So that's kind of why I'm holding up a bit of a vintage Henry figure, because it's kind of vintage, where people are sort of putting it down to the Silver Age being a bit goofy. But apparently there's a scene where Superman is battling the kaiju and he's holding up the foot and stopping it from stomping on a dog, and he blows the dog with his super breath and pushes it out of the way, and then the kaiju stomps him into the ground and he shoots down into the ground like a Looney Tunes character being stomped on, and then pops up from another area of the ground and then comes back and fights it. And people are basically saying that the action scenes are basically being staged like Looney Tunes scenarios, when you would see things like the Wile E. Coyote fall off a cliff and just go into the ground and stuff like that. And it sounds pretty bad. I can't describe it as well as the person who saw it did. But it just doesn't sound good, because the last thing I want is to see Superman, battling like a cartoon character monster, like he's like a cartoon, like in the Looney Tunes video. It's just really, the idea it should be strong, and the scenes should be, breathtaking and grand and amazing, and not silly and throwaway and gimmicky and Looney Tunes, basically. So that's really worrying. Another element they were mentioning as well was that the whole time this is happening, apparently there's some people with cameras like taking videos for YouTube or for the social media or something, or TikTok, instead of running. And just that's the kind of humor that you have. Like, you have this kaiju stomping Superman while, tourists are taking photos or something. Like, it's just not good. And just everything I see about this film makes it look worse. Every time James Gunn opens his mouth or does an interview without the cast, like it's all about him, just makes me think, it just reinforces how much of a disaster this film is going to be. They're even talking about the box office projections dropping and everything, and being less than what they thought they were going to be, and it's just a mess, and no amount of Looney Tunes action is going to save it. Now, I understand some people are arguing that the Silver Age is important and good, and there are a lot of fans of the Silver Age, and that was all goofy. I'm like, that's a comic. There's a difference between doing something in a comic which people read and project and imagine all the motion and action and everything, and actually doing it on screen and mimicking something like a Looney Tunes video. Because I remember, maybe think of Freddy vs. Jason. That's a horror movie, but there's a scene where Freddy and Jason are in Freddy's realm. They're in a boiler room, and Freddy starts throwing Jason around, banging off the pipes like he's in a pinball machine, and he just looks like this little toy flying around. And that was where I know people left. They lost them in that moment. I remember my niece was saying, I was with it until, he was throwing Jason around like a pinball machine. And I'm like, I had trouble with that scene as well. And I'm like, that's the sort of Looney Tunes over-the-top thing that Gunn seems to be doing in at least a few moments in the Superman film. But the overall criticism is that the action overall has this Looney Tunes goofiness about it, where you can't take it seriously. It's not thrilling or dangerous or inspiring. It's just goofy and silly. And it just makes me worry. I mean, it doesn't make me worry because I want this film to fail so we actually get someone else brought in to actually do a real Superman film at some point in the near future. But it still exists. It will still tarnish Superman's reputation and legacy at least in the short term. So it's bad. So it does worry me on that level. But I also like wanting it to fail, because then, Gunn's gone and we get a new one. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let's see what comes tomorrow.